Hey, what's up guys? We're going to be redesigning and rewriting Ladybug and season 1 of Miraculous Ladybug. So yes, let's just get straight into it. In the background, you will be seeing me redesign Marinette / Ladybug. While that is happening, I'm going to be talking about the Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir series and how I would have changed it. I will only mention big points. I shall not be getting into the nitty-gritty parts of each episode. Overview. The Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, but in reality, the Tales of Ladybug, just Ladybug, is about two preteens that are bestowed powers of the Black Cat and the Ladybug. These powers are given to them through kwamis that take the form of jewelry. Now that's all good. I mean, it's quite original, so there's nothing that I would really change. However, I would change the point of view of every episode from Marinette to Adrian back to Marinette, and so on and so forth with each episode, because this way we will get to know Adrian more, where right now how the season has already been written, we just got to know Marinette, and that's why I called it just the Tales of Ladybug, because that's all we really got to know. So yeah, if it's going to be called the Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, we should know about both of them. The plot. It's the usual. Teenagers are given powers to save and protect their city from the enemy, whom is Hawkmoth, also known as Gabriel Agreste, like the best fashion designer, and also Adrian's father, which is actually a secret in season 1. I completely forgot that his identity was only revealed later on, and the fact we all knew that Hawkmoth was Gabriel is quite sad. It should have been a jaw-dropping moment. Hawkmoth should have had a voice changer and exposed hair that was different from his civilian form hair. So in my rewrite, characters would look slightly different in their civilian form and from their superhero form. As you can see in this redesign, Ladybug has slightly lighter blue eyes and bluer hair than Marinette. Marinette will have more black than blue, while Ladybug will have more blue than black. So you see, Gabriel Agreste has this blonde hair with slight grey streaks in it, and with his superhero form, I would have made it that it were kind of completely silver, and again, matched with this little bit of a voice changer, I think it would have been a lot more, a jaw-dropping moment to find out that he is actually Hawkmoth, because, I mean, it was just so obvious with the same voice, same face, everything. So, yes. Now, what's the villain's objective? It's to have ultimate power, which he can only get when he has, you guessed it, both Ladybug and Cat Noir's kwamis. So it creates these akumatized villains to lure out heroes, other kwamis, so that he may have a chance to take their jewelry that holds the kwamis. So when Master Fu's kwami, Waz, senses Gabriel kwamis under dark hold, they go to find their new heroes to fight the problem for them. And who do they choose? A 13-year-old girl and boy. I mean, they just hit puberty. They have enough problems figuring out who they want to be and figuring out what's going on with their bodies. And that leads to the solution. Why not make them older? The design of Marinette and all her classmates suggests they are 16. So why just not make them 16? So I'm doing just that. Marinette and Ladybug's redesign and rewrite, they are 16 going on to 17. So how Hawkmoth essentially akumatizes his villains is he gets this little butterfly and he evilizes them, and then they essentially become a parasite to a host and make them want their desires in return to get this jewelry that he wants, and they will then get what they want in return. Now, the Akumas have this very cool power. They can multiply if not de-evilized, which is a really cool concept, and I wouldn't change that. But I would change is the season final, because I would love to include the fact that Akumas multiply into the season finale. The season finale is around Volpina, which is pretty decent. However, in that episode, it should have had the multiple Akumas again. It would make a beautiful circle paralleling the first episode. How cool would it have been to see a world full of multiple illusions, not just from Volpina that we knew that was Lila, but also all the people that she took control of. What would their illusions have looked like? I just think that would have been a much more better and more satisfying victory from Ladybug and Cat Noir when they took her down. Episodes in particular. Stormy Weather is a brilliant episode when we compare it to the other episodes of season 1. Some changes in it would be Cat Noir shouldn't go for a kiss here, but instead a flirty line in a teasing manner. There would be no meaning behind it, it would just showcase the comfortable relationship happening between him and Ladybug. His night vision showcased in this episode should have also been more often, like it should have been showcased more. It's such a useful skill that they just washed away with terrible writing. Side characters. Manon is just the most irritating character in existence. Just had to be said. Ladybug / Marinette. I actually quite like Marinette's personality, but to an extent. We all have flaws, so she's no exception to that rule. She's clumsy, something that would be reasonable if written correctly. You see, Marinette starts off extremely clumsy, messing up her breakfast in the first episode, falling over herself when saving Master Fu, when going into her superhero persona for the first time. This clumsiness translates, of course, because she is the same person, but eventually she gets her fitting as Ladybug. So why doesn't that translate eventually into her civilian life? She is this confident superhero, but when she becomes a civilian, she's just as clumsy as anything, even like she's two completely different people. By season 2, I would have made her clumsy antics happen far less and further apart than season 1. When Marinette takes her first role as Ladybug, she doesn't want to be a superhero, which I honestly love the take of. Most superheroes want to save everyone, have the attention, while Marinette was okay with giving the spotlight to someone else. The fact that she and Adrian had such contrasting first impressions on their first mission was nice to see. Marinette is a smart girl. We know this because of her quick ideas in battle. When getting her lucky charm, she has to figure out what to do with it and the surrounding objects to either distract, harm, or confuse the opponent. Which also leaves me thinking, how on earth did she even think of that? So good point on Marinette there. So yeah, Marinette in my version would be the same. However, definitely not a stalker. She would not know Adrian's schedule, which is just plain weird and also not a good thing to be teaching children. So yeah, and also Marinette being a fashion designer, she would have a better fashion sense. I mean, why is she making these hats and all these cool things when she dresses like this? So, it doesn't really make sense. And I think her having her outfit change slightly every episode would have been an amazing little Easter egg. I mean, very small changes. Like she would have a bracelet the one day, or she would have a different kind of hat, or no hat at all. Maybe her pink overalls would become blue. Like small changes. Powers. This is going to be such a petty critique, but whoever decided that Marinette's transformation should look like this? Yeah, nah, it's awkward as hell. I would change it to be more cool like Cat Noir's. Ladybug has one of the most powerful Kwamis, yet she gets a yo-yo as a weapon? It's laughable yet intriguing. So in my redesign, you will still have the yo-yo, but it has strings coming up on her arms. The idea is that the string is what spawns the yo-yos. She can essentially bring 4 yo-yos to life instead of her having the classic one. She can have 2 in each arm and use it like nunchucks. Alongside those yo-yos, she has the Lucky Charm, which is her power-up in a way. She gets a random object to help save the day, and when she does save the city of Paris, she throws the object in the air, removing all problems that were once there, aka her main power, the power of creation, which I see how it ties in together. The pavement is broken from a bus landing on it, while the power of creation creates new pebbles to replace the ones that were once there, and a new paint job on the bus. But there needs to be a limit on all powers when you write a show like this, or any show. Like, I mean, look at DC and MCU, for example. I mean, every hero or villain has their limits, and what Marinette's limit would be is death. If someone dies during the process of fighting an akumatized victim or is the victim of a villain, they should stay dead, unfortunately. Also, side note, I miss the magical girl transformations in later seasons. Not for every mission, but at least once for each hero for the entire season. Now, outfits. Ladybug's outfit is just ridiculous, I'm sorry. It's just so plain, which in some cases that's a good thing, but I don't think for the main character for a superhero series I don't think that makes it a good thing. So I just think it is too plain. That's why in the redesign I just have some more personality in this. So yes. Parents. I love the fact that Marinette has both her parents. Yes, a tragic backstory is nice, but it's also so overused. MCU and DC, so seeing this, I was pleasantly surprised. Also, the fact that she is both Parisian and Asian just makes her a great foundation for culturally diverse lead, but we don't get that, so I made her redesign show her two cultures. In her civilian form, she has the classic Parisian hat, and in her Ladybug design, she has a Chinese fashion in it. When it comes to Marinette being unable to speak Chinese, it makes sense. My father was Afrikaans, but I do not know the language to save my life, so it is possible. So let's keep the fact she doesn't know Chinese. Let's then make that a small character arc for her, learning Chinese from her mother on the sidelines. The show would show how involved Marinette is in regarding her Parisian side, and then also show her how she wants to be involved more in her Chinese side. Adrien, Cat Noir, personality. Adrien wants to be free from his father's control, however, he does not know how to do it. His first plan is to attend school and make some friends, but his father puts a stop to it. What Adrien doesn't know is that he will be given a Miraculous that will let him live the way that he's always wanted to. That's why when Adrien met Plag for the first time, he was so ecstatic, because he finally got to have this taste of freedom that was always denied to him. Cat Noir falls in love with Ladybug, and can I just say that he fell so quickly? I mean, I don't know any 13-year-old boy, like when I was at 13, that just fell in love with girls, so it's quite unrealistic. Now again, in this rewrite, they're 16, turning 17, so it would make a bit more sense that he would fall in love quickly, but I'm still not going to make that a part of the season or series. He will slowly develop a crush instead. Make it a slow burner until the finale where he would confess his feelings to Ladybug. Imagine this, when Ladybug and Cat Noir are fighting the multiple Volpinas, this made up season finale, Cat Noir gets badly injured, and I mean badly, and Ladybug is able to save the day with her wounded partner, because he's just not going to give up during the fight. It's just not in him. So he's going to keep fighting, and she's going to see that, and you're going to see a little bit on her side as well, where she's just really impressed in the characteristics that Cat Noir shows in this finale. Now when they sit down later that day, after they recharge their Kwamis, Ladybug and Cat Noir kind of have a heart-to-heart. A tiny bit of Adrien will happen. He will mention how he is trapped, how he kind of just feels trapped by his father, and yes, this is revealing a bit of his identity, but it's to again make this identity reveal a slow burner at the end of like season 3 or season 4. In this, Ladybug will console him, and we will hear a racing heartbeat from Cat Noir before Ladybug leaves. That will be when Cat Noir develops feelings, but he will not accept the fact that he has feelings until season 2. Also, quick mention, why did he not question why Ladybug knew Ivan's name in episode 2? Oh, and the umbrella scene is just chef's kiss. No need to change it. But yes, I just think Cat Noir having a slow burner of feelings would be a lot more realistic. Queen Bee, Chloe, her personality. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have that many feelings towards Chloe, except for the fact that I just hate it when she says the word ridiculous. It just grinds my ears so much. But let's just get into how Chloe was introduced to us. She was introduced to us as the typical mean bully. She had all the stereotypes. She's demanding and is mean to all of her classmates. And in episode 2, how does Chloe know there are negative emotions that cause Akuma possessions? It's simple plot holes like that that take you out of the world and go, strange. In later seasons, you'll see that she kind of has a bit of a redemption, but then all that writing will just be thrown out the window and she's back to being the mean bully. But we're not going to get into that yet, because we're just talking about Chloe from season 1. And honestly, there was nothing really special to her, in my opinion. I just think she could have been written better. I don't really get, so I'm just going to move on to Alia. Volpina Alia, personality. Alia is an aspiring journalist, which is a really cool twist on the classic Superman and Supergirl superheroes. When they're at night being their super sonas, and then in the day they're this journalist, but instead in this case, we got the best friend that's the journalist. It's a good twist, but she's just horrible at her job. I mean, I get she's 13 or 14, which makes sense. However, this does not make sense. Even a 13-year-old can connect these dots. She doesn't think, why does Ladybug know my name, showcased here in episode 1? Even Ivan wondered, why does she know my name? And Alia was there. Why didn't she question why she knew both of their names? I mean, come on. She had to figure out that this Ladybug knows them in their real life. I mean, in their civilian life. But anyways, into Nino, I also don't really care about him. So I'm going to move on again. And we're going right into Hawkmoth. He is just manipulative and controlling. He controls his son's entire life and tries to make him this perfect, not even human, and he must do exactly what he wants. And when it comes to his akumatized villains, he has to convince him to be taken control of so that he can get what he wants out of them, the Miraculous. I like Gabriel's idea, but again should have been a slow burn into madness. Season 1, Episode 1 should have showcased a Hawkmoth that just wants his wife Amelia back. We wouldn't know it's Gabriel or Amelia, but we would know that Hawkmoth wants someone he has lost to come back to him. Is it a son, a wife, a brother? Are they missing or are they dead? We won't know until the finale, where Hawkmoth's identity will be revealed and we see as each episode goes. Hawkmoth making more and more risky moves. Risky meaning seriously hurting civilians to get what he wants will happen more frequently as the season progresses. And we will also see as the season goes that he will have less and less care towards his work and towards his son, because the only thing he cares about is getting this person that he has lost back. Now let's get into the shipping. In my version, the love square would still exist, but in a just in a little bit of a different way. I've already mentioned the slow burn for Cat Noir developing feelings for Ladybug. With that, we will keep Marinette's immediate crush on Adrian. It's a good parallel. Marinette, however, not being a stalker, Marinette would become a good friend of Adrian's. She will essentially stay friend-zoned until the end of Season 1. Until Season 2, where things might change, you will have to wait until my Season 2 rewrite to find that out. Because if I'm being honest with myself, I've not yet decided what would happen. But let's get right into the Miraculous rules. They should have made it that only Miraculous holders can see Kwamis. They made it that only technology can't. However, technology can see more than the human eye can. So it's not far-fetched to rather make it that only Miraculous holders can see their own and other Kwamis. How? Well, magic. I mean, let's be honest here. Marinette doesn't look so far off her hero persona, and someone no one can place that it is her, even her best friend who is the so-called journalist. So magic must conceal her identity, and if that is the case, the same magic can conceal Kwamis from other humans. That's it for today. Season 1 rewrite and Marinette/Ladybug's redesign is over. Next will be Season 2 and Adrian's redesign. Please consider subscribing. This video took forever to make, but I was just so happy to make it as well. So yeah, goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day/night.